everyone, magandang umaga po sa lahat. I am China De Asis from Right Med Dermatologicals, and together with me are the members of the Grupong Tamang Alaga Academy and Unilab CIT as we bring you today's webinar. So today's learning session will tackle common skin conditions where we will learn how to identify them and know what causes them. We will also get practical tips, treatments, and remedies we can do at home. Today's webinar will run from 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. And to save on time for questions you may have, kindly use the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen, and we will entertain comments and questions at the end of the lecture. So now, without further ado, let us now proceed with our webinar on common skin conditions. Our speaker for this session is Dr. Maria Tricia Manlong at Malahito. Dr. Tricia is a board-certified dermatologist incorporating the functional medicine approach to her practice. She is an active consultant in both private and government hospitals in Metro Manila. With that, let us give a big and warm welcome to Dr. Tricia. Hi, Doc. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, China, and good morning, everyone. Good morning to the attendees today. Wow, marami tayo today, China, 104.
Wow, welcome everyone.
Yeah.
Also.
Okay, so let me share my screen so that we can start. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes,
China,
po.
is it?
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
Doc, we can see your
So,
screen.
good morning, everybody. Today, I will be discussing common skin dermatosis or common skin conditions. These are conditions that I frequently see in the government or in the public sector, public hospitals, and also in my private practice. Okay? So, what are these most common skin conditions? So, these are the topics that I will be discussing today. Okay, let me start with dermatophytosis. So dermatophytosis is also called fungal infection. No, it um it it presents as dry flaky skin on a red patch or plaque, and it is also called by other names such as tinea. So depende po yun sa location. Kunwari sa face, tinea faciae. Sa katawan, tinea corporis. Okay, so but the main name there is tinea or buni in Tagalog. And also in English, jock itch, pagsasingit, at saka athlete's foot sa paa. Okay, so it will look like this. No, I know that you have seen a lot of conditions that are like this also. So namumula siya. Usually, ang pinaka common thing dito is that at the center of that red patch or plaque is a central clearing. So parang malabo yung gitna, pero yung gilid is very thick and red. So what it means is that actually the fungi is concentrated very much on the border. Kaya when you apply something like an antifungal, for example, terbinafine, clotrimazoles, all of those things, you have to apply beyond this border. Kasi nandito nagko-concentrate yung fungi. Okay, so other things like yun nga dito ho nga sa singit, it's a jock itch, or on the hands also, on the feet, most commonly on the feet. So it starts sa feet, it will really start in the interdigital areas or in between the toes, no? Or in between the hands. That's where it starts. It starts as very, very moist or namamasa. And then eventually, nakikita po na kumakalat na, and it can affect the nails as well. Okay? So the nails will look like this. Yung makapal, it's usually yellowish and it has a grayish tone. So you just notice that the nail is not that healthy, no? If it's fungally infected. And if the nails are affected, we usually give na oral medications for this. So hindi na kinakayanan masyado ng topicals. Okay, this one on the left is yung barbay, no? So in the mustache area, this is very, very common in patients who repeat the use of disposable shavers, no? That's why we really, really encourage that if it is disposable, itapon na kagad. Okay, so let me go to treatment. Again, as I said, it can be topical or systemic or what we call oral medications. Depende sa pagkagrabe nung affectation or kung ilang parts sa body yung affected, no? Then we give oral medications and also the nails. So examples of this will be tolnaftate, miconazole, everything that has an azole at the end, no, is usually an antifungal cream or ointment. And the oral medications would be the following: terbinafine, fluconazole, and we compute for that. The oral medications, yung iniinom na antifungal na medications, these are started only when we see the blood test for the liver. Kasi it greatly affects the function of the liver. Kaya yan hinuhuli namin yan pag binibigay. At saka we really have to ask for a lab test for the liver and the kidneys as well. So how do you prevent it? Avoid wearing things of other people such as clothes, towels, hairbrush, or other personal items. Bakit? Because the fungi is only on the top layer of the skin. So meaning pag napunasan, tapos nakipagpunas ka dun sa tuwalya na yon, it can transfer to you, especially when your immune system is week. So after this slide, I'm going to go to another topic. Are there any questions? Wala pa. Okay, so let's proceed. Okay, the next topic is actually very common. And I know that you're very, very familiar with this skin condition. So this is acne vulgaris or pimples. Okay, it's also known as pimples. In Tagalog ay tagyawat. It's usually seen in teenagers and adults, no? And it's usually seen on the face, the chest, the back, and the shoulders. So merong non-inflammatory, meaning merong acne na hindi namumula, and meron din acne na namumula, which is we call inflammatory lesions. And it presents like the usual, yung may nana, so pustules yon, or yung malalaki na malalalim nodules, and then the small ones lang, papules naman ang tawag namin doon. Okay, so bakit nga ba nagkakaroon ng acne vulgaris? It's because the skin, especially for patients with oily skin, the skin is clogged. Their pores are clogged, no, with old skin. That's why it's very, very important for us in our skincare to have exfoliation, not very often, maybe once a week, twice a week, depending on the skin type. And also very, very important to go to the dermatologist for a monthly chemical peel. No? So why? Because that takes out the very, very superficial layer of the skin, and it stimulates it to become new again, no? So yun yung isa. And then of course, increased bacteria. So kapag hinahawakan yung mukha parate, or yun, napapasukan siya ng bacteria, so that it can actually cause acne vulgaris as well. And inflammation, meaning namumula, namamaga. Okay, so these are the common ones. This is, I think, from a teenager. So you'll notice that the acne is not that red for the left, but almost red on the right. No, so yan yung mga inflammatory, non-inflammatory lesions. And when I say nodules, ito ho yung nakikita nyo sa kanan. No, very, very big, sometimes painful, and you will notice that the face of the patient is very, very red. No, so it's very inflamed. Okay, so what would be the treatment for acne? We usually give a gentle cleanser, which is salicylic acid or glycolic acid based, because these are agents that can help exfoliate the skin mild, no, not very severely. And then we usually give a toner, which is antibacterial. Bakit? Because the skin has its own microbiome. May sarili siyang bacteria. No? And you really, if you have oily skin, that bacteria is imbalanced. Hindi siya all good bacteria. Meron talagang negative or meron talagang bad bacteria on the skin. That's why the toner can actually be like a maintenance for patients with acne, so that the balance of the microbiome will be maintained. Okay? Keratolytics such as benzoyl peroxide and salicylic acid, yan yung mga nakakapagpatuyo ng pimples. And then retinoids like tretinoin or adapalene. These ones are the ones that will help exfoliate the skin para hindi nagka-clog yung pores mo every time. So that is a standard treatment for acne. Of course, we also give oral antibiotics kung kinakailangan at sobrang malaki at namumula. And if we are not able to give oral antibiotics, we can give supplements like zinc and acetylcysteine, or definitely probiotics, because I was talking about good and bad bacteria. So kailangan balance din yung good bacteria mo sa tiyan, no? Because it will reflect on the skin. And these supplements can help with inflammation. It can also help with decreasing toxins on the skin. At the same time, it will also decrease the bacterial load on the skin. So other medications, ito yung sinasabi namin, oral contraceptives preventive pills, no? Kasi there are acne na associated sa ovaries. No, I know baka narinig yun na ho yung polycystic ovarian syndrome. Isa ho sa mga simptomas nun would be acne vulgaris. Kaya sinasama ho namin kung kinakailangan ng patient. And the isotretinoin is actually an oral medication for acne, and it targets all causes of pimples. The problem with isotretinoin is that marami po siyang risk sa babae because when the woman or when the female patient gets pregnant, and she's on isotretinoin, there's a possibility that there will be a lot of abnormalities in the baby. So we really make sure that we take the right tests for this, and we really talk to the patient before we start isotretinoin. Okay, so as I've discussed, yes, for severe acne, we give all of these things, and all of the side effects, complications must be known. So for the treatment of acne, there are a lot of patients kasi they jump from one medication to the other, or they jump from one doctor to the other because they don't seem to be happy about the effect of the medications na pinibigay sa kanila, no? So it is important also na i-explain po sa pasyente that the treatment for acne will not be instant, no? You really have to wait before it really takes effect, and that would be about 4 to 8 weeks if you only do topicals, no? But it will be earlier o mas magiging mabilis kung kino-combine namin yan ng oral medications. So number 2, there are a lot of conditions that look like acne, no? Sometimes or a lot of times there are people who say, ay, may pimples ako, ganyan. Pero when I or the dermatologist looks at it, it's not really a pimple. That's why the pimple medications will not work. No, it could be an allergic reaction pala to something or a lot of other things pa. No? So it's really very, very important for you to see a dermatologist before you start any treatment. Okay, so yan, board-certified dermatologist from the Philippine Dermatological Society. Okay, now, pinapakita ko lang dito ano-ano yung mga binibigay namin whenever the patient has mild acne, moderate acne, and severe acne. So, ibig sabihin, the treatment for acne will not be the same for everybody. So, depende po yon sa assessment ng doctor kung ano hong kagrabe yung acne nyo para malaman mo kung anong ibibigay sa patient. Okay? So, let's go now to the next topic. I just don't know if you know this term in English, no? Pero sa Tagalog, ang pangalan po nito ay tinatawag naming galis, no? Okay, so galis or scabies ay isang sakit sa balat which is really manifested by nocturnal itching. Pag sinabi kong nocturnal itching, hindi ka nangangati sa umaga, pero nangangati ka ng sobra sa gabi. To the point na hindi ho makatulog ang pasyente dahil sa pangangati. No? And it is because the mite, which is the Sarcoptes scabii, actually, is awake at night. And that's when they start to bite you. That's when they start to move and multiply. That's why it's really apparent na ang pangangati ay sa gabi. Okay, so nagtataka siguro yung mga tao, paano naman naging ganon, ano? Hindi mo naman minsan makikita mo sa mga patients na may scabies, they scratch, pero wala silang makitang insekto. Because the scabies mite is microscopic at pumapasok ho yan sa ilalim ng balat. Pagka in-infect ka niyan, pumapasok sa loob. Hindi kagaya ng lamok, nakakagatin ka mula sa labas. Ito, papasok sa loob, magpaparami muna sila in the first layer, superficial layer ng skin, bago po sila mangagat. That's why it will take around 1 to 2 weeks after biting you. 1 to 2 weeks pa, magpaparami pa yan sa ilalim ng balat mo bago kakagatin. Kaya pagka lumabas siya, madami yung pangangati, no? So, bibigyan ko kayo ng pictures mamaya. So, ang affected parts is usually interdigital areas, umbilicus, yan, mga singit, mga kilikili. Bakit? Kasi yung scabies mite na yan, ang hilig niya, yung maiinit at saka masisikip na lugar. Kaya doon mo sila makikita talagang Makate. Okay? The transmission is skin contact with an infected person or in contact with things like clothes, bed sheets, and towels. Meaning, if the patient who has scabies sits on a sofa which is made of tela at ikay umupo din doon, pwedeng lumipat sa'yo yung mites. Okay? Okay. So ito po yung manifestation. Nakikita nyo, nandito sa interdigital o nasa singit ng mga daliri at saka dito sa wrist, no? At pag lumabas sila, ganyan talaga sila karami. At saka ganyan, no, nagsusugat. Okay? For this part, very, very common ngayon nandito sa may pusod or the umbilicus, and then nagsispread na rin lang siya in other parts of the body. So anong ginagawa natin? Binibigyan natin ng permethrin lotion, no? That is the one that will kill the mite. And the permethrin lotion is not applied every day. It's only applied once. Okay? Once. And then the doctor will just tell you, or the dermatologist will just tell you kung i-repeat yung application ng permethrin o hindi. So, hindi siya araw-araw. Antihistamine, syempre, like cetirizine, loratadine, kung familiar kayo doon, yun yung mga para sa kate. So, binibigay lang namin for scabies yung antihistamine pag makati lang. So, kung sa gabi lang talaga nangangati, sa gabi lang yan iti-take. Okay? Antibiotics kasi sa kakakamot po pwedeng magkaroon ng infection. Pwedeng oral or pwede ring topicals like mipiricin, no? And then wash and leave your beddings, your towels because kinakailangan ng init which is about 95 degrees Fahrenheit or even higher para mamatay talaga yung scabies na nadikit dun sa mga tela, sa cortina, sa beddings, etc. So, yun ang importanteng step. Actually, sa paggagamot ng scabies, yun ang mahirap. Yung paglilinis ng bahay, yung pagbibilad at paglalaban ng lahat ng damit na ginamit from the time na nangate yung pasyente. So, yun ang medyo mahirap kasi yung pagpapaid, madali lang eh. Pero yung prevention at saka yung treatment on the environment, yun ang medyo challenge sa patient. So, prevention, of course, sa panahon ngayon, minsan, ang prevention is wag makikitulog sa ibang bahay. Yun, yung isa, no? At saka, if it's a public place, kung talagang sa tingin nyo, yung upuan ay talagang tela, gawa sa tela, at saka sa tingin nyo, marami nang nakaupo doon, minsan hindi rin advisable na upuan yun. So, mas maganda pa ang upuan, yung mga monoblock, yung mga upuan na po pwede mong punasan, no? Kasi hindi magi-infest ang kahit na anong mite doon. Okay? So our next topic is atopic dermatitis, no? Sa Tagalog ay sa isang term ng English, skin asthma. I think dun kayo mas familiar, no, with atopic dermatitis. So it's also called an eczema. It's chronic, meaning matagalan siya, no? Ibig sabihin din pabalik-balik siya. So kung nawala man siya ngayon, pag may trigger ka na ulit, babalik siya ulit. So ang manifestation niya namumula, redness, itchiness, dryness, and thickening of the skin. Why does it become thick? Because of too much scratching. So kapag ang balat lagi mong kinakamot, kakapal at kakapal yon. Okay? So for patients with atopic dermatitis, ito importante to, no, sa aming diagnosis. Kapag lumabas yung allergies ng 2 months of age pataas, skin asthma yon. Pagka lumabas yung allergies bago mag 2 months yung bata, iba yun, no? So, very, very important sa amin yung age. Okay, risk factors, of course, genetics. Pag ang isang parent ay nagkaroon ng atopic dermatitis or skin asthma, 25% of the time magkakaroon ng skin asthma yung anak. Pag dalawang parents naman, 50% yung risk ng child na magkaroon. Environment, bakit? Because maraming mga irritations na pwedeng nanggagaling sa environment like tela or kaya the weather o kaya yung usok, dust, etc. That's called environmental. And then of course, weather change. Okay, so ito po yung mga pictures ng merong atopic dermatitis or skin asthma. Very, very common sa bata, yung cheeks yan na namumula. At saka yung namumula sa mga elbows, ito sa pangalawang photo, and also behind the knees. So when we see those, we know already, okay, this has atopic dermatitis. One of the things also yung around the eyes, no? Namumula or parang laging puyat, laging nangingitim yung mata. That's one of the signs of atopic dermatitis. At saka yung mga parang butlig na nandito sa mga kamay at saka sa paa. Okay? So very, very important sa atopic dermatitis o skin asthma ay ma-identify ninyo kung ano yung nagtitrigger ng allergy. Kasi kung hindi nyo ma-identify what's triggering the allergies, then the allergies will just keep on coming back. So one of the important things is to really do a blood test that will identify your triggers. Ang blood test na yon will identify triggers of food allergies or allergens and also environmental. Yun nga, dust, pollen ba, sa cockroach ka ba allergic, sa mosquito, ganun lahat yon ma-identify ng test. Okay? And then, number 2 is the use of emollients and moisturizers because one of the root causes for eczema is actually the dryness of the skin. So, lagi talaga silang natutuyo. Lalo na pag nasa isang air-conditioned area, kung wala kang atopic dermatitis, hindi ka pa natutuyo in an hour. Pero, yung pasyente na may atopic dermatitis, they already dry up or they already scratch in a few minutes upon exposure to cold air. So, ganun siya. No? So, the use of emollients and moisturizers and lotions is very, very important. At sa atopic dermatitis, may specific na lotion na moisturizer na binibigay kami. Kasi kailangan yung moisturizer na yun pumapasok sa balat. It has to penetrate. So, hindi siya pwede yung mga surface moisturizers na pag pinahid mo, pag niligo mo, mawawala na. Meron talagang specific moisturizers na kapag pinahid mo sa balat, pumapasok na siya. So kahit iligo mo, hindi na yun mawawala. So the more you apply the moisturizer, the more you hydrate it inside. Okay? And then, if it's red, namumula, nagbibigay na ho kami ng pampahid. Pero for a short period of time lang. Hindi ho po pwedeng 1 year, hindi nagpapatingin sa doktor, pinapahid lang ng pinapahid, hindi pwede because that will already cause a lot of side effects. So, one of the topical glucocorticoids binibigay namin is hydrocortisone. And then all of those zones, no, lahat yan binibigay namin. Yung topical calcineurin inhibitors, may pagkamahal to, pero the safety profile is better than the glucocorticoid. So mas safe siyang ibigay, lalong-lalo na kung matagalan ang pagpapahid. Okay? And if it is very severe, ibig sabihin, more than 50% of the body is affected, we already give oral medication. So, yan yun, no? And then, we also give phototherapy. Yung pinapasok namin yung patient sa isang machine. And then, it gives out UVB that is actually anti-inflammatory. So, very, very helpful yan sa mga pasyente. Lalong-lalo na kapag kamot ng kamot, no? And then, the biologics, ito, ini-inject na to. Kapag hindi na nag-work yung oral, yung topical, yung pampahid, at binigay mo na lahat, inayos mo na yung diet, no? And everything like that, you give biologics as the last, no? Okay, and then, seborrheic dermatitis, ito naman, no, isa sa mga I think very common din na nakikita ko sa clinic kasi ito yung dandruff or balakubak. Ngayon, the patients will think na baka yun lang yun sa ulo, no? Actually, ang seborrheic dermatitis, ang affectation niyan yung scalp, so it will manifest as dandruff. And then, it will also affect the sides of the nose, dito sa may eyebrows, sa chin na namumula, likod ng tenga, at saka here on the chest and the upper back. So, minsan sa isang tao, they get everything. Lahat nagmamanifest sa kanila. Kadalasan naman, yung iba sa ulo lang, yung dandruff lang, or kaya sometimes yung sa mukha lang. So, depende pa rin. No? So, ito yung eczema na nagmumula or it starts in childbirth, no? From childbirth. Yun yung mga baby na nakikita natin na nagye-yellow yung scalp. So, ang tawag namin yun cradle cap. So if we see that the patient at birth has already this redness on the scalp, on the face, we will already diagnose them as seborrheic dermatitis. So yun, no? And then ito yun, no? See, perfect example, no, for the kids and then for the adult. No, not only on the scalp but also on the face. So yan yung isa sa mga sinasabi namin na kala nila acne or pimples, hindi naman pala. No? Kaya pag pinahiran mo ngayon yan ng para sa pimple, mas gagrabe naman siya. That's why it's very important na ma-assess talaga ng dermatologist. So what is the gamot? Shampoo usually for the scalp, no, is usually mild shampoo. So I recommend something not too fragrant, huwag masyadong mabango. Ang pinakamagandang actually is the Gugo shampoo, no, for us. But kung ano, basta lang hindi lang masyadong mabango. But the medicated shampoo is called ketoconazole, selenium, zinc pyrithione, or yung coal tar shampoo, medyo tinanggal na rin yan sa market because of its cancerous effects, no? So, the more common ones would be the ketoconazole, selenium, and zinc pyrithione. So, binibigay namin yan on top of the usual shampoo kasi gamot lang naman yan. And then you prevent it by avoiding the triggers. The triggers could be environment, and the number one trigger for seborrheic dermatitis is actually stress. Yung lagi namang problema. So, mapapansin mo yan sa mga estudyante pag palapit na yung exams. Nangangati na yung anit o kaya namumulan na yung mukha. O kapag galit na galit or very stressed na tao, you will know na may pinoproblema yung tao nun because the hormone for stress, which is called cortisol, directly affects the oil production on the scalp, on the face. That's why it becomes very red. Ayun, okay? And the second to the last topic, I think hindi nyo lang alam yung term na to, lichen simplex chronicus, pero I'm sure nakikita nyo na yan. So ito, pabalik-balik, it's also chronic skin condition that you really, really scratch. So usually, hindi siya marami. Usually, isa lang siyang area in the body, kung for example, isa sa paa, o kaya sa batok, o kaya dito sa kamay, na lagi yung kinakamot, no? At nagiging makapal because you scratch it all the time. So, ito yung itsura niya, no? I'm sure you have seen that, no? And the number one treatment there, again, is identification of the trigger. Ano ba yung nagpapakate? Ano ba yung nagpapapula? Pwedeng food, no? Like seafood, which are high histamine food, eggs, milk, those are high histamine food. Pag environmental at nakita nyo sa paa na ganyan, ang iisipin namin sapatos, no? Or kaya detergent. So those are the things that can actually trigger this condition. So, anong gagawin? You have to use a lot of moisturizer. As I said, if the skin is not moisturized at saka hindi tama yung moisturizer na ginagamit mo, mas lalo siyang matutuyo, mas lalo siyang mangangati. Okay? And then, nagbibigay na naman kami ng anti-inflammatory agents kasi namumula nga, no? Para mawala yung pamumula, mabawasan yung kate. We give topical glucocorticoids such as clobetasol, mometasone. No, there are a lot of things, but depende yon sa grabe. Depende sa kapal. Doon namin maa-assess. So, clobetasol sa mas makakapal, mometasone sa mas maninipis. Okay? And then prevention, antihistamines, because yung pagkakamot nga is the problem. So, that's why it becomes thick is because kinakamot. So, kinakailangan namin bigyan ng antihistamine. So, ito yung isa sa mga pictures. Okay, the last topic is something very hot right now, no? And I will discuss a bit of that. Although I'm not the expert on infectious diseases. Pero ito ho yung kaalaman ko sa monkeypox. Bakit ko siya, why am I discussing it? Because it is a skin condition as well, no? So it is it's from the monkeypox virus. So even if it's called monkeypox, it's not coming from the monkeys, okay? It is actually coming from rodents or rats, no? And it spreads from rodents to humans or human to human, okay? And paano siya nahahawa? Physical contact with the rash because the rash is actually vesicular, yung may tubig sa loob, or through body fluids. So if I say body fluids, pwedeng sa pagbabahing, pero if you compare it with the COVID virus, coronavirus, the monkeypox virus is a bigger molecule. Kaya hindi siya yung madaling mahawa, no? So, at saka body fluids, of course, lahat yan laway, dugo. So, it can also infect through that. Mother to fetus, kaya sinabi kong dugo. So, ang mother na merong monkeypox, pwede niya maipasa po yun sa kanyang anak. Okay? So, it came from actually the Central and West Africa in the rainforests. And of course, since the Philippines is already open to tourists, of course, they were able to, come in to the Philippines. Symptoms, fever, intense headache, the usual viral infection, no? May muscle aches, may swollen lymph nodes, para ka talagang may sakit. Pero, meron siyang rash. At yung rash na ito, it looks like chickenpox, okay? So, you'll usually have a rash 1 to 3 days after mong maglagnat, okay? And you have few to many, pwedeng isa, dalawa, tatlo, or pwedeng buong katawan mo will have these raised, clear, or yellowish fluid vesicles. So, parang sago on the skin na meron sa loob. And eventually, it will crust or dry up. So, para siyang chickenpox. It can affect the face, palms, soles, genitals, and mouth. Palms and soles, mga kamay at mga paa. And it will really last you 2 to 4 weeks spontaneously. So, ibig sabihin kahit hindi mo siya gamutin, mawawala at mawawala siya. No? So, mga 2 to 4 weeks spontaneous resolution. So, the treatment would be, it's self-limited. So, kahit hindi mo siya gamutin, mawawala siya. Ang paggagamot lang nito is to drink a lot of vitamins, ascorbic acid, and your multivitamins, sleep well, no, eat a lot of vegetables so that your immune system will become stronger. And then, kung may lagnat, bibigyan ng paracetamol, yung ganun. So, very symptomatic lang yung paggagamot niya. No? And then avoidance of touching the mouth and the eyes because nga of the body fluid. It has a viral load in the fluids of the body. And then kapag talagang dry yung mata or mamumula masyado, you give eye drops. But the other one, the medication that can treat maybe severe monkeypox would be IVIG, no? Intravenous immunoglobulin. Medyo may kamahalan talaga yan, pero yun ay talagang isa sa mga pupwedeng magpagaling kung na-infect ng monkeypox, okay? Prevention, limit contact with the suspected virus, so para lang coronavirus, isolation, and of course, hygiene. Right? This is how it looks like, diba? Mukha talagang chickenpox. It has the vesicles. It can be yellowish. It can be clear, yung sa loob, no? And then, puputok yan, and then it will become crusted also. So, just points to remember, consult a board-certified dermatologist. There are a lot of people claiming to be dermatologists, but actually, they were not really trained to be a dermatologist. So, ang training namin talaga matagal. 3 years yon of training. So, importante na itanong ninyo or makikita nyo sa clinic kung talagang Philippine Dermatological Society board certified sila. Okay? Para alam nyo na tama yung mati-receive yung treatment. Okay. Number 2, identification of the triggers is important. So I've already mentioned that multiple times. It's very important for us to know ano ba yung nagpapalala at kailangan itigil yon. Kung hindi mo ma-identify yon, medyo mahihirapan ka sa paggagamot. Okay? And of course, ito yung mga medyo nakakalimutan ng maraming tao at marami ding doktor, no? But the diet, yung pagkain ng mabuti, wag masyadong matamis, itigil dapat yung mga preserved food, mga delata, ganon. Because maraming histamine ho yan. Maraming preservatives. Okay? The sleep hygiene, ibig sabihin, you have to maintain at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep a day so that your immune system will not become poor. Because if it becomes poor, then your body will become more hypersensitive to the environment, thus making you more allergic or thus making you have a lot of skin conditions. And then exercise is also important. Saka yung sunlight na pagpapaaraw are also part of the treatment plan. So with that, I thank you very much and thank you very much for listening. China, thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Shaw, for such a comprehensive discussion and on the different types of skin conditions. And it's definitely very, very enlightening. But of course, before we begin our Q&A, let us acknowledge first the presence of Attorney Joey Ochave. Good morning, Sir Joey.
Hi, good morning everyone. And Doctora, thank you very much for that lecture. We really appreciate it. No? Marami kaming natutunan doon. So this is a short message. So please, everyone, if you have questions, please take advantage of the presence of Dr. Trisha here. No? So thank you again, Dr. Trisha. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Attorney.
Salamat po. Bye.
Thanks, Attorney Ochave. So to everyone, if you have questions about Dr. Trisha's lecture, please don't hesitate to type it in the Q&A box. Actually, Doc, meron na nga po tayong first question, and it's actually about something that's very, very essential to us right now, and we can't go out of the house without wearing. So it's about face masks, no, Doc? Does wearing a face mask for an extended period of time, like for example, at work or throughout our workday, damage the skin? And what face mask do you recommend for people with sensitive skin?
Yeah, that's a very, very common. Thanks for that question. Okay. So the face masks now, of course, it is very important for us to use it, no? But what you have to consider with the face mask, especially if your skin is quite sensitive, is its tela or the quality of the face mask at saka the protection. Okay? So if it's a surgical mask, so the usual surgical mask, it is protective, but the fibers of the surgical mask actually is very irritating. No? So I don't really recommend that all the times. Maybe for short period of use, okay, but not for a long period of time. Okay. The problem with cloth masks is that number one, it depends on the detergent that you use to wash it for, which can actually irritate the skin again. And the protective level of the cloth mask is not that protective. So, hindi ko nire-recommend yung cloth mask. What I would recommend would be the nano mask, because the nano mask, 3D nano mask yun, no, it's KF94, so it means that it is protective and it is tested by the FDA. So that's one. Number two, it does not come in full contact with the skin. So it only has points of contact here, yan. So hindi niya masyadong kinukulob yung area. At the same time, there is not much skin to skin, mask and skin contact with that mask. So I would recommend that, no? I would not mention the brand, but I know that you know what it is. Yeah. Thank you for that question.
Yes, Doc. Thank you also, Doc, for answering that question. Our next question would be for acne naman po. What specific kind of probiotic is recommended, and how long should we take it?
Okay, the concept of taking in an oral probiotic for acne is that because there is a connection between the skin and the gut or the tummy. Okay, so it means that if your tummy is not healthy, it will reflect on the skin and it will reflect on the other parts of the body. So for the probiotics, it will actually be something that has to have lactobacillus in it, and it has to have bifidobacterium. Pag meron yung dalawang yon, that's a good probiotic, no? But the most important part there is to take the probiotic only before bedtime or maybe upon waking up, no? Hindi po pwedeng in between meals. So because you will have to wait for it to populate on the tummy. So it has to be taken when it's at rest. So before bedtime and basta just the two agents, lactobacillus and bifidobacterium.
All right, Doc. Actually, you also mentioned a while ago, no, Doc, that diet, sleep, hygiene, and exercise is very much important also to the treatment plan. So that's why with what you said on the probiotics. Next. Yeah.
Okay.
We also have another question from an anonymous attendee. Are there other known herbal extracts or natural products that can be prescribed to treat acne vulgaris and atopic dermatitis?
Yeah, okay. Let me start with acne. So acne, we have a lot of plant-based, no? Tawag namin doon, plant-based medications for that. One would be tea tree oil because it's known to be antifungal, antibacterial, anti-inflammatory. Number two would also be turmeric or curcumin. No, alam niyo yung luyang dilaw, no? That is a very, very powerful anti-inflammatory, and it can treat from acne to eczema to all of those irritations, no? And then garlic is a natural antibiotic. So there are garlic capsules that are available. Hindi naman yung buong garlic kakainin ninyo kasi napakagrabe naman, no. But there are measured garlic capsules that you can buy, and those are the things that I usually prescribe.
All right, thanks, Doc. From Miss Ivy Amar, question po, Doktora, about po sa ringworm, ano po ang remedy na pwede po dito, Doc?
Okay, the remedy for the ringworm would be, yun nga, as I mentioned, antifungal agents. So one would be tolnaftate. The others would be those that are called azoles. Yung mga cotrimazole, miconazole, may mga azole. So those are the ones that you can apply, no? But yun nga, yung application, as I've mentioned earlier, kailangan lampas dun sa red, dun sa border, because nandun nakakoncentrate yung fungi. And number two, it has to be that area na merong buni. It has to be kept dry, because kung magpapahid ka ng basa yung balat mo, all the more magkukulob, all the more there will be more fungi. So it has to be dry. The skin has to be dry before you apply anything.
All right, thank you, Doc. And just to share also, since you've touched on tolnaftate and also the azoles, RightMed Derma has those products as well, and it's also available in MedVale. So for all those who are wondering also about this, you can actually easily access, and it's also made available for you in MedVale. So Doc, another question regarding naman po milia. How to get rid of milia and are they different from face warts?
Yeah, very different from face warts. The warts on the face are because of a virus. The milia is because of either your skin is too oily, or you're applying something on the skin that is making your skin very oily. So dalawa yan, no? But what makes milia worse is that you make kutkut. When you always touch it, when you always kind of remove it, that's when the milia becomes increased in number or it becomes bigger. When it goes to the treatment plan, the only way for us to be able to remove milia is by extracting it. Kailangan mo talaga tanggalin because actually it's not as easy as extracting a pimple. It is actually deeper and it's actually harder. That's why extraction and other modes of modality that can actually remove the oil from that milia is best.
Okay, Doc. Thank you very much. Eto, Doc, this type of product kasi lagi ko siyang personally nakikita when I go outside or pati online. So it's about collagen. How can we optimize the use of collagen and what is the best time and frequency to take it po?
So collagen is part of the skin. That's why it becomes depleted as you age, no? And it becomes depleted as well when you eat a lot of sweets. So yung mahihilig sa matatamis, I'm sure their collagen is really very, very low. And the collagen is not just on the skin, it's also on the joints. That's why a lot of patients also complain of joint pains, etc., etc. But the collagen, there are two forms. There is a form that is in capsule form, and there is also a form that is taken as a drink. There's also a form that is taken as a shake, no? So if it is in the capsule form, for you to be able to reach the blood level that can increase or stimulate collagen building, you really have to take a lot. Like 5 capsules morning, 5 capsules afternoon, 5 capsules evening. It depends on the brand, no? Or 2 or 3, ganun. So marami, multiple. If it's in the drink, you can take about 1 to 2 drinks a day. But if it's in the shake form, since it carries on a lot of milligrams of collagen, which is actually should be, it's either marine collagen or yung marine collagen or simple bone broth, yung bulalo. Pero wag yung loob ng bulalo. I mean the bulalo soup in itself that is increase in collagen intake already. So yung drink na yon that yung powder na yun that you mix in with your smoothie or your shake, you can take that once a day only, maybe in breakfast or by mid-lunch. That's fine, no? But the bulalo that I'm saying, the bone broth, tawag namin doon, you can have it as a 3 times a week meal in your home, and that will already be something that will help with your collagen building.
So bulalo pala at ang Tagaytay ang sagot for collagen.
Oo, tama.
Okay, Doc, for our next question po, is it okay to use fluticasone proportionate cream every time you have an eczema attack, or even if you use it for more than 8 weeks?
The fluticasone propionate is actually, if you compare it to the other steroids, mas safe siyang i-apply without the side effects for more than a month, no? But the same thing is, if you really apply it every day, since it's still a steroid, then it will still bring out the side effects. So it's really best if, at saka it depends kasi it's a mid-potent steroid. So you don't know exactly where it is most appropriate to be applied. Is it on the face? Is it on the body? Ganun. So it's really important for you to see a dermatologist para they will be able to advise you on how long to use it and where to use it really properly, how many times you should use it in a day. Ganon. Kasi iba-iba lang yung strength nila.
All right, Doc. How about for best anti-scar products for chickenpox naman po?
Oh, okay. Chickenpox is, you'll notice when you have a pox scar, ano yun, malalim. No, it's concave, no, or ganun, paloob, no. So you will really see the concavity on the skin. One of the treatment modalities would be a chemical peel. That's the most simple. Number 2 would be a filler right beneath the scar. Or we can also do fractional CO2 lasers on the scar itself. So those are all collagen building. Those are all for scar revision. So yan, topical for a very long time, as in years. So mas maganda na lang yung office.
Interesting, Doc, no? Kasi I'm surprised pala na when it comes to like the scarring of chickenpox, no, there's really, it's a tedious process to actually limit yung visibility niya, no?
Yeah, because it affects the deeper part of the skin.
Oh,
Kaya nagsuscar siya.
interesting.
Okay.
All right, Doc. For urticaria naman po, is it a common skin rash? And how is it diagnosed and treated po?
Okay, urticaria is common also, no? And it is diagnosed because it comes and goes. Yun yung ano namin, no? It will be there in the morning, in the afternoon, it's gonna be away. It's gonna be gone. And then it's gonna come back the next morning, and then it's gonna be gone again. So, ang itsura ng urticaria yung parang mapa-mapang malalaki. I know you've seen that, no? Very, very red. And then after a while, it goes away and it comes back again. So that's the trigger would be food. Trigger could also be medications, but one of the most common ones would be an infection. Yung pala may UTI, yun pala may lung infection, yun pala kaya ganun yung nagkakaroon ng urticaria. The treatment, was it asked, China, the treatment?
Yes
Yeah.
po.
It's an antihistamine intake. It will also depend on what antihistamine we have to assess that for a minimum of 2 weeks up to 6. Kaya ina-assess namin yun. What kind of antihistamine that patient needs. Secondary will be your emollients, your mild soap, and then your steroid. That's only secondary. But the primary would be the antihistamine and the trigger avoidance.
Okay, Doc, thank you. For eczema, I'm sorry if I butcher this, Doc, pero the question is, what would you advise for recurring dyshidrotic eczema or untreated eczema?
Okay, dyshidrotic eczema is like only eczema that is parang tapioca colored or parang sago-sago, no? Vesicles, only seen on the hands and the feet. And they're really related to an allergic contact dermatitis, meaning it's very intimately related to something that you're holding or something that is always in contact with the feet, like shoes. So that's one of the avoidance there. To be able to identify what's triggering it. Could be a detergent, could be your shoes, could be some gloves or something. So yun. And then the treatment ba, China? Yeah, the treatment would be, of course, topical glucocorticoids in the higher level because the stronger ones because these are very thick skin, no? Yung palms and soles. So mga at the level of mometasone, clobetasol, and higher.
All right, thank you, Doc. How about for exfoliation of the skin? Is it recommended to use baking soda? I think kasi it's frequently found at home naman po, no? So they're asking if it's recommended to use baking soda to exfoliate the skin.
Yes, I think they use it for like a scrub, no? It's baking soda. Yes, it can be used. But for me, if you ask me, for it to become more even, a chemical peel in the clinic would be good, or a retinoid such as tretinoin, or even yung mga glycolic acids, if it's used properly, would be a good exfoliant. And at the same time, it will help renew the skin, because if the pores of the skin are always clogged with the dirty skin nga, it will not stimulate the skin underneath to make new ones. But if you always exfoliate it in the right way, then you stimulate more new skin production. That's why glowing ka. Pero if the exfoliation is harsh and it is too often, it's not done properly, dun ka magkakaproblema. Magkakaroon ka naman ng ibang eczema. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Doc. Back to collagen po tayo, Doc. Just to quick question on that. How is it recommended if you're gonna take it as a drink? How is it recommended to take it per day? How frequent should you drink it?
Depende dun sa milligrams nung drink, no? But a 5,000 milligram BCAA, yun, or collagen is enough for once a day.
All right. Doc, for moisturizers naman po, considering we are wearing face masks on a daily basis, is there a recommended type of moisturizer specifically fit for that everyday face mask that we usually wear po?
The face mask, it will still depend on the skin of the patient. So if it's dry, then you can use the cream-based or the usual moisturizer. But if it's on the oily side, you still have to use the moisturizer because it's protective also from the irritations of the mask. And you can use a water-based moisturizer for that, or gel-based.
All right, thank you, Doc. What is your advice po for those who have psoriatic arthritis?
So psoriatic arthritis is a complication complication actually of psoriasis, and it comes with it. There are a lot of patients who have that. And it's because the inflammation in the body of that patient is really high. That's why it's affecting the joints already. So number one, if I have a psoriasis patient, especially with psoriatic arthritis, I recommend a diet modification. Talagang it's a must, no? Because you won't be able to really treat that without fixing your diet. Number two, we already give oral medications, okay? And those oral medications or the biologics, yun yung ini-inject na po yun every month or meron ding every 2 weeks, meron ding ganun. It depends on the biologic. But these things, these agents, can really also affect other parts of the body. Okay? But that's the ultimate treatment for psoriatic arthritis. That will really give comfort to the patient. But kaya I always incorporate the basic things like diet, exercise, because you cannot always have biologics forever. At the same time, it's very expensive as well. So it depends on a lot of things pa.
Yeah, we go back to the basics po rin po, no, Doc, yung diet po na inyong palaging pinapaalalahanan po sa amin. Doc, going naman po sa pimples, how do we get rid of pimples po sa back?
Okay, the pimples on the back are usually kind of related to seborrheic dermatitis, yung kaninang, because it is related to oil production on the back area. And it is quite triggered by hot bathing in hot water or yung mga naka-heater yan. So, o kaya they wear clothes that are not cotton. So, hindi nahahanginan yung likod. So, for that naman, we usually give the same things that we give for the face for acne. Or we try kind of assess whether there's a fungal infection or not. So we do a KOH. That's just a simple test, a scratch test that we do in the clinic mismo. No blood involved. Ano lang yun, we just try to check the scales on the back whether it's fungally infected or not. Then we give an antifungal. Ganon yung treatment niya. Iba-iba, it depends pa rin how it looks like. Pero the basic there, if it's really acne, we give an anti-acne medication. If it just looks like acne, it's not really acne, then we give another thing.
Doc, on seborrheic dermatitis, there's a question on, is there a best home remedy for it?
Home remedy, just to moisturize it actually. And then avoidance of the triggers, because if you know that there are, kunwari, this certain mask will actually trigger your seborrheic dermatitis, let's say for the face part, no? Then you just change the mask and you moisturize it properly. If it's the scalp naman, of course, stress management, that's why I mentioned that, because that's one thing that actually is forgotten, no? But it's really stress management because it directly affects the oil production of the scalp and of the skin. That's why it's important for you to manage the stress, because it will really get worse with it, no? Home remedy for the stress, syempre, meditation or breathing exercises before you sleep, okay? And time for yourself. Tapos, for the scalp nga, maybe using a mild shampoo, not the fragrant ones. I don't want to mention brands. But the mildly scented shampoo, yung hindi masyadong mabango, yun ang mas okay na shampoo for sebderm.
All right, Doc, for our last 3 questions, Doctor, about po sa pimples, is it advisable na gumamit ng rejuvenating set for the treatment?
Okay, the rejuvenating set, as I said, I found out that rejuvenating sets pala have different kinds of ingredients. Depende sa brand ng rejuvenating set. But for the past 2 years, we have seen so many, as in marami talagang irritations from these rejuvenating sets from our patients, no? Ang dami talaga. So it's very, very, kasi acne treatment, it needs like the timing on how to apply it, when to apply it, how to apply it, how much, at saka yung oras, pang umaga ba siya o pang gabi. Because if you interchange those things at maarawan ka, dun magkakaroon ng irritation, dun ka mangangati. And it also depends on the type of the skin. So ako, if the question is if you will use rejuvenating sets for acne, no. Oo.
Best not to use rejuvenating set, no? Baka po ma-harm ka po. Like what you
because
said na
Oo, for some people it will work because nga iba nga yung skin type din nila. But for a lot of people, it does not kasi mali yung pagpahid or mali talaga yung agent, yung ingredient, etc. Ganon.
All right, Doc. For our last question po, from Sir Francis, cetirizine lang po ba ang treatment ng chronic hives?
Maraming antihistamine, sir. Cetirizine, loratadine, fexofenadine, levocetirizine, ang dami po, no? So it depends on the kind of hives that you have. But most importantly, yung identification of triggers. Kaya kasama sa management plan namin, diary of activities, what is triggering the urticaria? For example, today, meron siya. Now, ngayong 9-8 now. Ngayong 9-8 back ng iba. The urticaria will keep on coming back.
All right, Doc. Maraming salamat po talaga sa lahat ng mga
You're welcome.
sa kasagutan po sa aming katanungan. And of course, Doc, for a summary lang, Doc, what you've mentioned, always remember the 3 things po, which is consult a board-certified dermatologist. Always remember the basics, which is diet, sleep, hygiene, exercise, and of course, identification of the triggers are important. Once again, Doc, thank you very much for being very helpful po sa aming mga katanungan, and thank you also to our participants for actively participating in our today's session in Q&A. Again, thank you very much, Doc, and thank you everyone. So if you happen to find that you or you know of someone encountering the said skin conditions that Dr. Tricia mentioned, you can find an assortment of RightMed Derma products on MedVale. As previously mentioned and discussed by Dr. Shock, for example, for jock itch or buni, there's RightMed Tolnaftate. For galis or scabies, there's RightMed Mupirocin. For skin asthma or atopic dermatitis, there's RightMed Hydrocortisone. For chronic dermatitis caused by frequent skin scratching, we have RightMed Clobetasol and RightMed Mometasone, and a lot more. So like I said, you can easily find the following derma products on your screen in MedVale, and it will be made available for you. Thank you very much. Before we go, let us hear some parting words from Dr. Nancy po.
Yes! Good morning po sa lahat ng ating mga kasama sa grupong Tamang Alaga at yung ating mga friends from BDG and Aura. So, wala akong masabi, pero mamaya marami pa rin ako sabihin. Thank you so much, Dr. Tricia. You know, this is the first time I listened to a dermatologist with approach na beyond the skin, no? Kasi alam naman natin, mga dermatologists, ang concern nila, whether it's pathologic, no? Katulad ng diniscuss si Dr. Tricia kanina, no? Yung mga fungal infections, scabies, atopic dermatitis, ang approach nila is always on the skin. But Dr. Tricia provided us a holistic treatment, no? Talagang tamang alaga sa isang pasyente na ang manifestation ay skin problems. So skin problems, no, go beyond the skin, di ba, Dr. Tricia? You discussed with us earlier yung value ng providing the good microbiota, no? Kasi tama talaga, no? Yung kung hindi maganda yung status ng iyong gut microbiome, it can manifest outside the gut. And thank you so much for that, Dr. Tricia. And yung goal kasi natin, no, for this series of webinars is to provide our employees and their families, no, the right information on common problems, no? So for the past few months, we have focused on common emergencies at home, and then we had very good lectures on mental health related to diet and exercise. And this morning has been equally very productive, Dr. Tricia. Thank you so much. Gusto kitang maging neighbor.
Ako din, Doc. Same neighborhood na lang.
And of course, China, hindi po sinasadya na si China ang naging moderator natin ngayon, no? Na kasi meron siyang, she's the one in charge for the RightMed dermatologicals. Nagkataon lang talaga na nagtanong siya, no, kung pwedeng i-share natin sa ating grupo yung mga produkto. And she has been the perfect moderator for this session. So maraming salamat ulit, no, China. And Dr. Tricia, wag kang madadala. Talagang mamaya kukuhanin ko yung number mo.
Sige
Kahit
po.
malayo
Thank
pa,
you
pupunta
very
ako
much.
sa'yo. Thank you so much for always reminding us, no, na yung mga sakit, it goes beyond, no, particularly for derma skin problems. It goes beyond the skin, at ang tamang approach talaga ay ang pagkakaroon ng isang malusog na katawan, no, yung tamang alaga. So maraming salamat din, no, sa ating GTA medical group. Nandiyan si Doc Jing, si Dr. Percy, and of course si Josh. Maraming salamat. Yung HR team, lovely, thank you so much. At sa lahat po na nag-attend, maraming salamat. Nasa 100, ilan tayo? Yan, 108. At i-announce ko na rin for next week, next month, no, we will have Father Dan Cancino to guide us through, no, ang topic natin, non-medical. But si Father is a doctor, no? He will guide us through, yung title ng webinar natin is Pause. So, maraming salamat ulit sa inyong walang sawang pagtangkilik sa ating monthly GTA medical series. So, thank you so much at mag-ingat po kayo palagi. Doc Trish, thank you so much. Oops, I have to shout out ko lang si Dr. Eka. Of course, si Dr. Eka is the bridge natin kay Dr. Tricia. So alam niyo na, no, narinig niyo na si Dr. Eka several webinars. So kung gaano kagaling si Dr. Eka, ganun din si Dr. Tricia. So thank you so much again, everyone. Have a restful weekend.
Yes, thank you very much, Doc Nancy, and thank you again, Dr. Shaw, and everyone with us today. That was another enriching learning session for all of us. We would like to thank everyone for taking time and attending our webinar today. On behalf of Sir Joey, the GTA Academy, and Unilab Corporate IT, we wish you a very nice day. Goodbye, everyone, and happy Friday.